Hello, we're the Hasselwells. I'm Dana,
I'm Jesse.
my handy assistant and cameraman for today, because we will be making some apple and cinnamon gluten-free muffins. So don't worry, if you like your gluten, you can leave it in. We'll let you. This recipe is one that I found online towards the end of the year when we were about to go on holidays for a little while and needed to use up our apples, and it turned out to be absolutely delicious. So we're going to make it for you again today and show you how to do it. Jesse's going to taste test, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We need a reliable taste tester. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing we need to do is peel and chop up our apples because we need 2 cups of apples. Does anyone else hate peeling as much as I do? I don't find it very appealing. So you want to chop the apples up nice and small. Well, I guess it's personal preference. If you want huge chunks of apple in your muffin, then you can not cut them up too small, but I'm going to cut them up really small. So now we have all of our apples diced. Geez, that took forever. I had to make Jesse come and help me and put down the cameras. Now we need to coat these pieces of apple with some flour and cinnamon. So we need 2 teaspoons of plain flour, or gluten-free plain flour, if you're making the gluten-free kind like I am. We'll just pop these in another bowl. And half a teaspoon of cinnamon is going in with those. Ooh, that smells good. And then we're going to pop these diced apples in here and swirl them around a bit and get them all coated with that little mixture. And now that we've got all those nicely coated, we're going to set that aside and work on the rest of the mixture. Next, we need to start making all the dry ingredients for the muffin mixture, starting with 2 cups of your gluten-free plain flour, or normal plain flour, which we'll sift together with some other ingredients. And then once you've made a mess with your flour, we need a half teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, which I will be doing in half teaspoon increments because it fits. So that'll be 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just need to sift all of these together.
You spilled tons of it on this side.
And once you've got all that sifted together, we'll put that aside as well next to our apples and move on to the wet ingredients. So firstly, we need 115 grams or about a half cup of butter, which you can soften in the microwave like I'm going to. Oh, so close, 5 grams under. Next we need 1 cup of sugar, which we're going to cream with the butter. It says granulated sugar. I don't have that, I'm using caster sugar, and I'm sure it will work just the same. So now we need to cream them together for about 3 minutes until it starts to lighten. Things are about to get noisy. I don't think that quite took 3 minutes, but it is much lighter in colour, so we'll go with that. Next we need to add our eggs one at a time and make sure that one's fully beaten in before adding in the next one. First one going in, we'll beat that for a little bit. All nice and incorporated. And egg number 2. It's starting to come together and look like a batter. Vanilla is the next thing that we need to add. 2 teaspoons, that's a lot of vanilla. And then we'll just mix that in a little bit. Oh, it smells so good now that that vanilla aroma is coming up. Okay, next we need to add the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients and alternate that with milk. So we'll pour our half cup of milk and have that ready to go. I might have my handy assistant ready to go with the milk, and I'll handle the stirring and the dry ingredients. We need to gently fold it through, so don't go viciously stirring, you want to kind of like fold it over a little bit. So we've got our dry mixture, we'll start adding some of that. My handy assistant will need to add in some milk. See this little folding technique? A little bit of milk please, sir.
How much?
Not all, that'll do. The idea of folding a mixture instead of just stirring it is that it lets some of the light airiness get in there, and then you'll have a nice light airy result, is the plan anyway. I'm not sure that my folding technique is the best one out there, but I try. Pop in a bit more of the dry stuff. My handy assistant's abandoned me. I guess I'll have to do my own milk.
I'll do it.
Too slow.
No.
Bit more dry. Every single time I've done one of these videos, I've forgotten to preheat the oven, and would you believe I've done it again? So I'm off to do that now. It says 375 Fahrenheit, which I think is around 180 Celsius. Should we look that up?
Let me look that, yeah. Let me Google that one.
My oven is hot, so I'm probably gonna stick it around like 150, 160 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But for you, we'll look up what the conversion is. It's 190 degrees Celsius, so if your oven is not as temperamental as mine, probably set it to that. What's that mysterious ticking noise? Don't worry, it's just the oven timer. All right, we've got it all combined now, starting to look like a muffin mix. So now it's time to come back to our original friend that took us so long to cut in the first place, the apples. And we're going to add those into this mixture and fold them through as well. Then it's nearly time to get them in the oven. And we'll get folding. If you have like somebody with Iron Man arms or something, you might want to sub them in at this point. Jessie? Just kidding. I can handle it. Just look at it like a COVID workout. If you have some cute patty pan cups or cupcake cups in the US, we call them patty cakes over here, which is where the name patty pans comes from. If you've got those, now's the time to bust them out and stick them into a muffin tray like this. It's supposed to make around 12, so you might have to do a second batch if you don't have enough trays for that. And once that's all squared away, you can start dishing them up about 2/3 to 3/4 full. So you don't want to overfill it because then it's going to overflow and be all over the top of your muffin tray instead of in your nice little muffin pans. Somewhere around that amount, I reckon. Go ahead and fill up all the rest. Right, now that we've got all of those ready to go, we're going to pop them in the oven. I actually had a little bit extra, so I put it in a pan that's a little bit too small for it, but it should still work, I think. So they go in for about 30 minutes or until a skewer inserted in the middle comes out clean. If you do need to put anything on the top rack of your oven near the heating element, just keep an eye on it because it may not need the full 30 minutes. So just be careful or you'll burn it. So once the muffins come out, we're going to put a little bit of a topping on them. And for that we need a chunk of butter, which is a highly descriptive term. But basically you're just going to melt this so that you can brush the top of the muffins with it. And you're going to need some cinnamon sugar. I've mixed some up previously in an old herbs and spices dispenser thing. If you don't have that, mix them up now and you can either dip them into a bowl of it or you can use a shaker like I will be doing. They are all done now. They've come out of the oven. I did burn the 3 extra ones that were on the top shelf within 10 minutes. That's how hot the top of the oven can get. I ended up putting it down to 125 Celsius instead of 150 and the recipe called for 190. So she's a little toasty in there. But you win some, you lose some. Right, now we need to finish these off by painting them with some of our melted butter that we prepared earlier and dusting them with the sugar. If you don't have a pastry brush like this, I didn't last time, I just used the back of a spoon and brushed it over. It's not as easy as this, but it'll do the job. You might want to do a few and then dust them with the cinnamon sugar before the butter dries in there too much so that the cinnamon sugar will stick.
Well, that smells a bit delicious.
Does, doesn't it? Is there anything better than the scent of apple and cinnamon mixed together? I don't think so. And that's it. We're basically done. You want to try one?
Yes, definitely.
Which one looks good?
I mean, even this one would be okay.
Don't try that one.
No.
You can have the burnt one later.
Over here, this one here, it's got a bit of extra sugar on it.
All right, give her a go.
Okay. Oh, that is a bit warm.
But how does it taste?
I'm not sure I've ever had a bad apple and cinnamon muffin, but this is pretty damn good.
Can I try some or is it just yours?
It's got that gluten-free, I don't know, what is that?
Sponginess. Well, that's probably because we folded it and left the air in there. That's good. Make these. Do yourself a favour and make these. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you'd like to see more videos from us, we are more often travelling than making gluten-free baking videos, but subscribe and you'll get the lot. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye! Duh. Everybody knows how to fill up a cup. Oh, need to peel the apples. I thought you were going to tell me that camera wasn't on.
Oh, maybe it's not on, but that's on.
Ooh. Doing this in such a way that a camera can see. Then we have to
say
If-
a good chef never blames his top shelf of the oven.